In this video, we're going to continue on looking at the computers and the games, and we're going to take a step back and take a look again at this master equation. Our master equation is y is equal to mx plus b. The book breaks it down, giving us the same equation in a little different look. Y is equal to mx plus or minus a number, where y is equal to a number that is multiplied to x plus or minus a number. I have a table of values here. It's a very simple one where we have x on the left, as always, and y on the right, and we can notice the patterns for x and for y. For x, we're going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. This is a +1 pattern for x. And for y, we're going from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. This is also a +1 pattern. To build an equation from a table of values, we will start by writing y is equal to the number multiplied by x is your y pattern. Our y pattern is a +1 pattern. So we're going to write 1x, which is just x. And then we're going to determine what we need as our bridge. So we're going to actually do the work by taking 1 and multiplying it to x. 1 times 1, all the way down the line. We can do it once, we can do it twice, we can do it 3 times, we can do it as many times as we want. We're going to see where we come out. 1 times x, 1 times 1 is 1, and then we check out how do we get to y. 2 times 1 is 2, and we check out how do we get up to y. 3 times 1 is 3, how do we get up to y? We're getting up to y. 1 to 2, we have to add 1. 2 to 3, we have to add 1. 3 to 4, we have to add 1. So the pattern is consistent that we need to add 1 in order to reach our y value. So y is equal to 1x, or x plus 1. What that does for us is it now creates a situation where if we know what y is or we know what x is, we can use substitution to solve for the other one. This is creating an equation where we can come to any solution that we want if we know one of the values, either y or x. So let's go back and put this into action, looking at the table of values for computer games and computers sold. Computers is our x, computer games is our y. We don't need a big table in order to see our patterns. We already established that we have a +1 pattern for x, and we have a +4 pattern for y. We are now going to use our master equation. Y is equal to, we're going to take our pattern for y, and that's going to be multiplied by our x. So our pattern for y is a +4. So that's going to be 4 times x, and that equals 4. And we need to get up to 6. That's a +2 pattern. We can test this on any of our values. We can multiply any other value by 4 and make sure that we have the correct bridge. 16 up to 18 is a +2. So we know we can create our equation using the master equation. The equation of this relationship is y is equal to 4x plus 2. So let's solve now. How many games are sold when 2,512 computers are sold? Y is equal to 4x plus 2. Well, we could say the games, which is our y, is equal to 4 times the number of computers we have, plus 2. We can use our variables to reflect what we have. We're talking about games and we're talking about computers, so we can change to G and C. It's easier to read the equation even if we don't want to change Y and X. It's easier to read it as the number of games is equal to 4 times the number of computers plus 2. Makes it more kind of real life for us to see that relationship. Once we have it this way, we can say, well, how many games do we have? The games is equal to 4 times 2,512 computers plus 2 more. We can now solve. We can grab our calculator and we can say 4 times 2,512 is 10,048 plus 2 more. The games is equal to 10,050. So what this says to us is we can use the pattern and make an equation and solve the equation without having to draw, without having to create a huge table. We know that if this company sells 2,512 computers, they are likely, based on the pattern, to sell 10,050 computer games. So let's take a look at a couple more questions based on the equation that we created. The games is equal to 4 times the computers plus 2. This example says calculate the number of computer games sold when 19 computers are sold. Again, we don't know the games, but we can substitute. We know we have 19 computers, and so we substitute that into our equation, and we go ahead and we solve. Remember BEDMAS, we have to multiply first. 4 times 19, 76, plus 2 is 78. If we sell 19 computers, we are going to sell 78 games. If we look at the second student example, predict how many computers would be sold if 62 games are sold. Here we know about the games, so we're going to put that in where we have G in the equation. 62 is equal to 4C plus 2. We can solve for C. We've done our equation unit. This is a 2-step equation. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides. Canceling. We're going to have 60 is equal to 4C. And now we can divide by 4 to isolate our computers. That cancels. And so the number of computers we have is 60 divided by 4, which is 15. We would need to sell 15 computers if we had 62 games sold. In the next video, we'll continue through the student examples and do some more practice together. It takes a little bit of time to work on our master equation. Eventually, we will be looking at y is equal to mx plus b. This is called the equation of the line. For today, we're looking at our master equation as y is equal to the multiplier or the pattern of y times x plus or minus a number, which is the bridge. We will create tables of values and then create equations. It takes some practice, but you'll get very good at it, and then you'll be able to solve for a missing variable each and every time.